Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Happy New Year. Let me introduce myself for who don't know me. My name is Ismail Merabet. I'm the media focal point at the Permanent Mission of Algeria. We are today having His Excellency Ambassador Amar Bendjama, PR of Algeria, who will be having this press conference. We also welcome the participants online. So we'll start with brief opening remarks, and then we'll go to the Q&A session.
Thank you, Ismail. It's not the morning anymore. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year to you all. May the new year 2025 be a year of peace, a year of hope, a year of well-being and prosperity all around the world. We are delighted to assume the presidency of the United Nations Security Council for January. It's an honor. But it is also a huge responsibility, as many challenges continue to face international peace and security. We will approach these challenges with determination, with the help of all the members of the Security Council. At this juncture, I would like to congratulate and welcome the 5 new elected members, namely Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, Panama, and Somalia, to whom I wish productive and successful terms. I also would like to express my deepest gratitude to the outgoing elected members, namely Ecuador, Japan, Malta, Mozambique, and Switzerland, and to congratulate them for their very fruitful and remarkable terms. Ladies and gentlemen, we want this Algerian presidency to be efficient, to be proactive, to be open, to be transparent. I am pleased to share with you a brief presentation of the program of work of our presidency. The program of work in January includes mandated meetings ranging from Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. On African issues, we have Sudan, the semi-annual briefings on the ICC prosecutor on Darfur. And we have also the renewal of the Libya sanctioned regimes. On the Middle East, the Council will convene for the monthly meetings on Yemen, as well as on Syria, regarding the political and humanitarian situation in these 2 countries. Especially, situation in Syria and the broader implications of the recent development there will be closely observed by the Council. We will convene the briefing on the cooperation between the United Nations and the League of Arab States. A presidential statement will be issued by the Council at this occasion. On European issue, the program includes the question of Cyprus, including the renewal of the mandate of the United Nations peacekeeping force in Cyprus, mainly at the end of the month. As for the Americas agenda items, the Council will have meetings on Colombia and also the regular briefing on Haiti. The Council follows the situation in Haiti in particular very, very closely. As for high-level events, and in line with Algeria's commitment to promote and defend the African continent's interests and priorities, we decided to dedicate our high-level signature event to tackling counter-terrorism in Africa. The meeting will be chaired by Mr. Ahmed Attaf, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Algeria. This high-level meeting will take place on 21st of January at 10 a.m. Last but not least, the quarterly open debate on the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question, will be elevated to a ministerial level. Algeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ahmed Attaf, will also chair this meeting. The Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, is scheduled to brief the open debate on Palestine to take place on the 20th January at 10 a.m. Now, with your permission, let me say a few words in Arabic and in my national capacity. أود في هذا المقام أن أذكر.
On this occasion, I wish to recall the words of His Excellency the President Abdelmajid Tebboune during his most recent speech to the Algerian Parliament, and I quote, "Since Algeria begun its mandate at the Security Council, it has been fighting a true fight for the Palestinian cause. Algeria will never drop the Palestinian cause until Palestine can create its independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital." End of quote. Once another quotation from His Excellency the President to say that we stand with Palestine, we stand beside Palestine and beside all of the oppressed peoples of the world. We will continue to highlight the suffering of Palestine, the humanitarian crisis that is catastrophic in Gaza. And this is one of the absolute priorities, remains one of the absolute priorities of Algeria. Today, we convened a meeting of the Security Council, which will be held tomorrow morning, to discuss Israel's aggression against health facilities in Gaza. We're also following with great concern the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza. In coordination with our Palestinian brothers and with the humanitarian workers, we are going to take the necessary measures as the situation requires. As an Arab member of the Security Council, the cause and issues related to the Arab region, particularly the situation in Lebanon, Syria, and in Lebanon, Sudan as well, Yemen as well, remain a major concern of ours following the alarming developments that have been taking place in these brotherly countries. We will not hesitate to take the necessary measures to this end, and whenever necessary.
To English. And following this brief presentation, I will now welcome any question you may have. I thank you. Wow.
Thank you. So I will just kindly ask you to introduce yourself before asking the questions. And as the tradition, the first question goes to the representative of Wonka. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. On behalf of the United Nations Correspondent Association, I thank you for this briefing and wish you good luck for the presidency of this month. I'm Amélie Botelier from AFP News Agency. I have two questions related to Gaza. Can you confirm you have scheduled a meeting tomorrow morning, and can you give us details about what you expect from it? As you elevated the Middle East debate on the 20th of January on the ministerial level, do you expect, are you willing to push for another resolution on Gaza as the US is switching presidency? Thank you.
Yes, I can confirm that tomorrow at 10 a.m., we will have a meeting of the Security Council, a briefing of the Security Council on the attack perpetrated by the Israeli Defense Forces on hospitals in Gaza. Second, the 20th of this month, we will have the quarterly meeting on the question on Palestine, especially. My minister will be here, and I'm sure that some of his colleagues will also be here to make statement before the Security Council on the question of Palestine. As for the question of yes or not resolution, it will depend on our consultation with the members of the Security Council.
شكرا اسماعيل. Ambassador, congratulations for assuming the presidency of the Security Council. This is Abdel Hamid Siam from the Arabic daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. My first question is about the labeling of what's going in Gaza. You have been consistent in labeling that as genocide. But is that shared by other countries? How do you see that this hypocrisy of many countries that is still reserved not to call it genocide? That's my first question. I'll follow up with another question.
On Palestine?
Yes.
The question is no more on labeling.
Labeling.
Labeling. there has been massacre there. There has been indiscriminate killing. There has been school bombed, hospital destroyed. It's no more a question of labeling. Our opinion is that we should save life, save Palestinian lives. And it's why we called and we continue to call for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. I thank you.
My second question, can I? My second question regarding Algeria itself. It has been targeted. There are many countries trying to label Algeria as not a peace-loving country. Mali has been issuing some statement. Algeria has been, because it's not normalizing a relation with Israel, some even Arab countries who are normalizing with Israel, trying to accuse Algeria of is not cooperating in terms of peace efforts around the world. So how do you respond in your national capacity as to those countries who have been criticizing Algeria?
I think that the Algerian position on Palestine is overwhelmingly supported by the members of the General Assembly and by the majority of the members of the Security Council. It is well known that Algeria is in the front in supporting the people of Palestine. But Algeria is also a responsible member of the United Nations. And Algeria will try to be the best bridge to divergent views and to try, as President of the Security Council, to promote peace and security, not only in the Middle East, but also all over the world. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, my name is Ibtisam Azim, Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. I have two questions. The first one on Syria and Resolution 2254. The question is whether you believe that this resolution should be renegotiated. Is there any, not the resolution negotiated, but a new resolution instead of that resolution, given the fact that some parts are not anymore in effect? And is there any talks in the Security Council or on this regard, given the fact that we also heard from the transitional government that they wish to have that? And the second question is on Palestine and settlements. We hear many countries, including the US or the UK, talking about their opposition to settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, but yet we see very little done. What do you believe that countries should do more, especially in the Security Council, than they are doing? Thank you.
Two questions, one on Syria, one on Palestine again. On Syria and on the resolution 2254. It's true that this resolution seems to be a little outdated, but when you read it again and again, you will find there in this resolution the principle the principles on which we can build a better future for all Syrians. Within a country, in peace with itself, and within an inclusive process for a new governance in Syria. Our position as a friendly country of the people of Syria, a friendly country of the people of Syria, with whom we have a long-standing history of friendship that dates back to the Emir Abdul Qadir. Our position is that we should help the Syrian people to overcome this transition and not putting conditions on the process which should be Syrian-led and Syrian-owned. Palestine. Palestine, it was about the settlement. I agree with you that there were a lot of words, but no deeds, to stop the settlement in the West Bank, especially in Jerusalem, and now maybe in Gaza. We will try very much to stop these settlement activities in this region. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismail. Gabriel Elizondo from Algeria English. Good luck on your presidency this month. One question on Syria. Do you foresee this month in the Council getting any sort of movement on delisting HTS? And would you be willing to facilitate that if it were to come on the table? Thank you.
It will be up to the Council. We will have a meeting on Syria, the 8th of this month, where we are seeking a report of the SRSG on his contacts there. And we will debate on the best way to help the Syrian people to rebuild its country and to rebuild its governance. The question of delisting should be apprehended with this objective. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador. First, wish you a successful presidency this month. This is Xu Dezhi with China Central Television. 2 questions. First one, in the capacity of the president, we know that this month, the UNRWA bills by Israeli Knesset will soon be put in effect. Will there be any action by the Security Council on this issue? Second, in the capacity of Algeria, you mentioned a lot of times to urge Security Council to take actions on these Israeli movement actions, operations in Gaza. Will you consider sanctions against Israel in the Security Council? Thank you.
First on UNRWA. This morning, during the first breakfast we had under our presidency, I announced that we intend to call for a meeting in the third decade of this month in order to discuss the situation of UNRWA. We hope that we will reach a consensus that will authorize UNRWA to continue its work on behalf of the General Assembly, on behalf of the UN, in favor of the Palestinian population. For Algeria, UNRWA is irrepressible and should continue to work and to fulfill its mandate. The mandate given overwhelmingly by the General Assembly of this body.
Mr. Ambassador, we're having some requests from people online. So the floor is for the Algeria Radio, Algeria International Radio.
Hello, this is Mohammed Khatil from Radio Algeria International, and I have one question about Libya. The Security Council under the presidency of Algeria will deliberate on the renewal of the sanctions regime in Libya. The situation in this neighboring country of Algeria is deeply concerning. So what can be said about the current situation in Libya today? Thank you.
On Libya, Algeria is profoundly concerned about the prolonged nature of the crisis and the increasing complication it poses to regional stability. It is due primarily to escalating foreign interferences. Foreign interferences which must cease without delay. Since the onset of the crisis in Libya, my country has been committed in supporting a peaceful resolution on Libyan-led and Libyan-led process without interference, without external interference. And Algeria will continue to support the United Nations effort in Libya. To go into detail, I would like to emphasize 3 important points. One, the imperative of convergence and complementarity under UN auspices on the ongoing effort by international and regional organizations to avoid any duplication. Second, the importance of a Libyan-led and Libyan-owned political process which should lead to create a condition for inclusive and transparent elections. Third, in Libya, a reconciliation process is vital. and it is a necessary step toward healing division within Libyan society and fostering a sense of national unity. To conclude, let me say a few words about sanction. It's the sanction regime in Libya. For us, for Algeria, the Libyan sanction regime is not intended to be punitive. It has been seen as a protective mechanism designed to create a conducive environment for peace. In this regard, the effectiveness of the arms embargo is crucial. And my country, as member of the Security Council, will continue to advocate for the safeguarding of Libya frozen assets and ensuring the preservation of their value and preventing, let us be frank, any misuse or misappropriation for the benefit the Libyan people in the future. To conclude, we hope that the ongoing negotiation among Libyans will lead to concrete and positive steps. Thank you.
The next question will go to the online, also the Algerian television.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Ambassador. I'm from the Algerian television. My question is about the situation in Palestine. The Palestinian people is subject to a genocide, and the Security Council is unable to put an end to the violations by the Zionist occupier. What are the chances of some movement in the Security Council? What are your priorities, Mr. Ambassador? Since the beginning of our membership in the Council, the Palestinian question has been a top priority. We therefore condemn the violations committed against civilians, against Palestinian civilians, and we call for respecting international humanitarian law. Even wars have rules. In light of the bloody scenes we are witnessing, we strongly believe that the only solution that can alleviate the suffering of Palestinian civilians is a ceasefire. Immediately, permanently, and without any conditions. Against this background, within the Security Council, we acted, whether individually or as part of a group of countries, as part of the E10, and we will continue in our calls, in our actions, until the Security Council bears its responsibilities in full. I thank you.
Question, sir, Ambassador. We take the last question
Okay.
because we have the meeting.
Gentlemen is.
And La PS, they are asking for the floor.
Ambassador, my name is Javier Otazo from the Spanish news service, EFE. On a different issue, this year marks the 50th anniversary of one of the longest conflicts in the world, the Western Sahara. That is important for Algeria. Don't you intend to bring the issue to the Security Council this month?
Western Sahara is an important issue for Algeria and for Africa and for United Nations. It is a question of decolonization. The Security Council met 3 months ago about Western Sahara and renewing the mandate of MINURSO. MINURSO is the mission, the United Nations mission for the referendum of Western Sahara. And this mandate will run until later this year. So we are not intending to put the issue on the agenda unless there is something new on the ground. There will be a meeting in April on this subject, and Algeria, as a member of the international community, Algeria as a member of the Security Council, will participate to this consultation on Western Sahara and will promote a peaceful solution compatible with the resolution 1514 and compatible with the aspiration of the people of Western Sahara for their self-determination. I thank you. Okay.
Sorry, the last question goes online also to the Algerian Press Service.
C'est Yassine Bourali de l'agence.
Good afternoon, Ambassador. Happy New Year. My question is as follows. As part of the international efforts to combat terrorism in Africa, what outlook can be envisaged to deal with this resistance? Thank you and good luck. Thank you very much.
Comme vous le savez,
As you know, Algeria has experienced a very dramatic history as an independent country, through its short history as an independent country. We have lived through the worst kind of terrorism. My country, together with its women, its young people, its security services, our politicians, intellectuals, and journalists. Our country has succeeded, and we are one of the few countries to have done so. And my country has been successful in vanquishing terrorism. However, terrorism continues to exist elsewhere. Algeria, as an African nation, an African country, stands in solidarity with its brotherly nations in Africa and wishes to share its experience. We wish to share our experience on how to overcome terrorism while respecting the specificities of each country. Our experience, bitter as it is, could actually allow a number of African countries to find the best ways of combating terrorism. It is for this reason that we have decided to dedicate and devote one of the signature events of our presidency to counter-terrorism. As you know, and Abdelmajid Tebboune, our president, has been appointed by Africa as champions of counter-terrorism. We do not wish to see this issue of terrorism, for which Africa and the Sahel are paying a very high price. We would not want this scourge to be absent in terms of the focus of the international community. We would like the United Nations to continue to discuss how we should best deal with the issue of terrorism, and organizing multilateral cooperation to deal with terrorism is crucial. Algeria will humbly, but also with determination, Algeria will put its experience and make this experience available to our friendly countries, especially in Africa. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Can I ask a follow-up question? A follow-up question?
I have a meeting now.
Sorry, as a first day of presidency, the schedule is very busy. But we will have this follow-up question in another. Sure.